The reenactments and commentary in this program may contain frank talk of a sexual nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
The Jackson 5, well, not quite, but we are up to Jackson 2. Count them, 1, 2, another cousin of the King of Pop. Tells of titillating television, naughty nights at Neverland, and a juvenile crime spree. Hello, I'm James Curtis. Welcome to E's coverage of the Michael Jackson trial. As usual, Jackson made his way into the Santa Maria courthouse, waving to fans and, of course, flanked by his bodyguards. I understand they're retired LAPD, but that's another show. Now, before we hear from the second Jackson family member to take the stand, the first, the pop singer's 16-year-old cousin Simone, continues her testimony on cross-examination. Assistant District Attorney Ron Zonin returns to the teenager's story of the night she saw the accuser and his brother in the kitchen at Neverland. Here's what she told jurors according to the courtroom transcripts.
All right. Now, at some point in time, you saw these kids take wine from the kitchen. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Mesereau called it stealing wine. Did you think they were stealing wine?
Yes.
Now, did you think they were stealing wine because they're kids?
Yes.
All right. If your mom went to the kitchen, she could take a bottle of wine. Is that right?
Yes.
It was there for the guests?
Yes.
Okay. But you felt it was improper for them to do it because they were 12 years old and 13 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you felt that that was stealing. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, did you tell somebody immediately when that happened?
No, I didn't.
Now, this was 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were in the kitchen at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
Next, bunking down with her famous cousin.
Did you ever spend the night in Michael Jackson's room?
Yes.
Okay. By yourself?
Yes.
Did you ever spend a night in his room, in his bed, with him?
Yes.
By yourself?
Yes.
All right. How old were you when you did that?
I was about 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Have you done it since age 8 or 9?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Were you invited to come back into his room?
Yes.
Were you invited to come back into his bed?
Yes.
By Michael Jackson?
Yes.
So he offered you his bed to share with him?
Yes.
When was the most recent time he did that?
When I was about 14.
When you were 14 years old. So he invited you to come sleep with him in his bed by yourself?
With my brother.
Okay. The question that I had asked you is whether or not you had been invited to sleep in his bed by yourself.
Oh, no.
Had you been?
No.
At any time since age 8?
No.
Okay. Was your brother sleeping in his bed with you?
Yes.
All right, let's take the last topic first. It might demonstrate some good judgment on the part of Michael Jackson that he does not have an older cousin female sleeping in his bed alone.
Well, of course, though what the prosecution is really trying to do here is to say that when boys reach about the age of about 13, that he does want them in his bed, and when girls reach about that same age here, 14, that he doesn't. I don't know if that washes or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really demonstrates, I think, a pattern of Michael Jackson sleeping with kids, boys and girls. I don't think the prosecution has any idea that he's an incestuous child molester, so he even sleeps in the bed with his young cousins.
Well, I don't know what the boys or girls.
I agree with both of them. I don't think the prosecution has any idea. I don't think the prosecution has any idea. And I think what it shows is Michael Jackson has sleepovers like kids, young kids do.
Let's take that
teens.
first point about whether or not she told others about the first incident she described, the alcohol incident. She does ultimately say that she told a parent of hers, a grandparent, I believe.
Yeah, I really think it's no big deal. Most kids don't run around tallying on other kids. And so I don't think anything unusual. What is unusual is she remembers the incident and she talks about it.
She does remember the incident, and the question was to her, did you tell Michael Jackson, essentially? We heard that with respect to other witnesses. We'll explore that further next. The defense calls Simone's brother, Michael Jackson's 12-year-old cousin. His name is Rijo. Did Rijo see Gavin doing something that would contradict the accuser's earlier testimony?
Okay, now, do you remember staying at Neverland with Gavin and Star?
Yeah.
And where did you stay?
In the unit.
Okay, is that a guest unit?
Yeah.
Okay, and were you staying in the same room with Gavin and Star?
Yes, for one night I was.
Pardon me?
For one night.
Okay, did you spend that night with Gavin and Star?
Yes.
Okay, was that, did they sleep in the guest unit?
Yes.
Okay, is that where you slept?
Yes.
Okay, now, what did you see Gavin and Star do in the guest unit, Rijo?
I saw them go to the TV and turn to a channel that had, like, naked girls on there and doing other stuff, like nasty stuff.
What nasty stuff?
They were, like, jacking off and everything.
Okay. Did they do that in front of you? Was Michael Jackson anywhere near that room?
No.
Okay. What did you do when you saw Gavin and Star jacking off?
I told my sister, and she told me to go to Michael's room.
And did you run to Michael's room when you saw that? Did Gavin and Star stay in the guest unit?
Yeah.
Did Gavin and Star say anything to you when they did the nasty stuff?
The other day, they did. They said, why don't you do that with me?
What did you say to them?
I said I didn't want to because it was nasty and it's wrong.
Now, when you ran to Michael's room, did you leave them in the guest unit?
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever spend another night with Gavin and Star?
No.
As this direct examination continues, is it a case of runaway Chardonnay?
Okay, did you ever see Gavin and Star with any wine at Neverland?
No, I seen him take it, but...
Where did you see them take it?
In Michael's room.
And what did you see them do?
I seen him take it upstairs, and that's all. And then, like, a few moments later, I seen them run out the door.
With wine?
No, they were just running out the door.
Okay.
Real quickly.
So you saw them in Michael's room, right?
Uh-huh.
And you saw them grab some of Michael's wine?
Yeah, because he ordered some, and then the chef brought it in, and Star and Gavin said, we'll take it upstairs for him. And so I seen them do that. Like 10 minutes later, they came downstairs and ran out the door.
Did Michael ever see them with the wine?
Uh-uh.
Where was Michael at the time, do you know?
He was in the studio or bathroom.
Okay, so Michael never saw them steal the wine?
Uh-uh.
Did you see them actually drink the wine?
No.
You have to say yes or no, Rio.
No.
Okay, but you saw them run out with it?
Yes.
Which way did they run with the wine?
I don't know. I seen them go out the door, that's all.
And Michael wasn't there?
He wasn't there.
So he didn't see them take the wine?
No.
Take the wine, steal the wine. I would have suspected a prosecution objection with the characterization of stealing, Ricky.
Well, you might have expected a prosecution objection, but they all like playing with words in this particular case.
Sure.
I think the wine is one aspect, but what really we get into here is the question of sexuality or budding sexuality. Are these youngsters masturbating themselves, or are they someone who could be victimized by Michael Jackson? Are those two things mutually exclusive?
And that's the question, though, Howard and Sean. If this information is true, this kid seems quite credible, does it mean that Michael Jackson did not yet molest these kids in the same way?
I think what it means is these kids were sexually active, like we've already heard before. I guess we don't have to worry about them getting involved in sexual assaults, because they took the advice of their grandmother.
Yeah, but I mean, and I'm surprised we haven't heard that. No, that's a good point. That's a very, very good point, because we heard that story that refers way back to direct examination, where the kid apparently told the same story twice.
Are sexually active, and you can't blame it on Michael Jackson.
Okay, well, but no. Can you make that connection? Sexually active, perhaps, yes, certainly you did, but you're a defense attorney, so that's what we expect. Does it mean that they weren't molested, though?
At the very least, following up on what I said yesterday, it shows these kids to be different than as portrayed by the prosecution. Right. They're sexualized, they're out of control, they're stealing, and we saw a different portrait of them during the prosecution.
So says the defense, but of course, that's why we argue. When we return, Rio reveals more about the midnight ramblings at Neverland. Stay with us.
The reenactments and commentary in this program may contain frank talk of a sexual nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back. Under questioning by defense attorney Tom Mesro, Michael Jackson's 12-year-old cousin Rio claims he caught the accuser and his brother with their hands, don't go there, in the proverbial cookie jar, folks. Here's what the jurors heard according to the courtroom transcripts.
Did you ever observe Gavin and Star in the house?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, I am probably not using the right word. Did you ever watch what Gavin and Star were doing in the main house?
They were just running around the house doing, like, what they do, like playing.
When you say like they do, what do you mean, Rio?
Like play with each other, like tag and And
Did you ever see them looking through drawers?
yes,
And what do you mean?
like in the kitchen, they had like they took some money and like that was the chef's money and stuff.
Now, what money are you referring to?
Like in the kitchen, there's all kinds of drawers, and then we seen them go in Jesus' office after they went into the kitchen and seen them take some stuff.
What stuff did you see them take?
They had like little crystals. We seen them take crystals and money, and that was all they took. We seen them.
On cross-examination, Assistant District Attorney Ron Zonin wonders, did Rijo tell the head of household about Gavin and Starr's behavior?
Did you tell your cousin Michael about what Gavin and Starr were doing in the bedroom? No?
I was scared. No, so
Did you tell your cousin Michael about the television and the fact that they were watching something bad on television?
No.
Now, that television is in a guest room, is that right?
Yes.
Do you know if they were using a video or a DVD?
No, they weren't.
Do you think they were using regular television?
Yes.
And then you said they were jerking off, is that right?
Yes.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, like putting your hand like on your private and then just moving it.
And were they both standing at the time?
They were in bed.
They were in bed and they were covered with blankets. You could tell what they were doing. Were they in separate beds?
Yes.
How many beds were in the room?
3.
3 beds in the room. So usually there's 2 beds in that room. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Did they bring another bed into the room for you?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that happened, you left the room. Is that right?
Yes.
And you went to your sister.
Yes.
And your sister said, go to Michael's room. Did you go to Michael's room? Was Michael there? And did you tell him what happened?
No.
All right, aside from the fact that Michael Jackson appears to be donning a rather normal, or in his case, mundane shirt and tie, what is the significance, if any, with respect to now stealing money from or crystal figurines out of the kitchen?
It's back to Sean's point. It's that the prosecution attempted to portray these kids as kids who were really, in essence, angelic. We have to always take the undisputed fact that you have a cancer survivor, that these were good kids who were ultimately corrupted by Michael Jackson's sexual assault of Gavin, and that's when all the acting out happened. And on the other hand, we see the defense portrayal that these kids were acting out a long time before.
Is it a good strategy?
Well, you know what? I don't know if it's a strategy. You keep trying to put us in a cookie cutter mode with defense and prosecution, and again,
Not me.
I think it's a credibility situation here. And I think it shows that these kids are not what they were portrayed to be when they testified for the prosecution, whether it's cross-examination by defense lawyers or whether it's a witness called by the defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's all credibility. And what Gavin says and what Starr says with regard to molestation is all that really matters. And if we can't believe them because they're not what they were portrayed to be by the prosecution, then the jurors have to look at them in a different light.
James, if I can, it's what Gavin and Starr say also about the wine versus what Rijo said, because Rijo was set up as a straw man.
Yes, absolutely. And that is the idea that the only wine that they ever drank was with the assistance of Michael Jackson as opposed to simply on their own. Next, Assistant District Attorney Ron Zonin continues to press this young witness. What did his cousin Michael know about the accuser's alleged actions?
Okay, and you told Michael what had happened in the bedroom, is that right?
I told him a little bit, and then he left to the bathroom.
And he left for the bathroom?
Yeah.
When you told him a little bit, did you tell him, among the little bit that you told him, did you tell him that they watched something bad on television?
Yes.
And you told him that they watched something that had naked women on television?
And then yes.
And did it also have naked men?
No.
Just naked women?
Yes.
Okay. What did Michael say to you when you told him that they were watching something with naked women on television?
He didn't believe it.
He didn't believe it?
Because, like, he thought they were cool and he didn't think they would do that.
Did you tell him about what they were doing inside the bed?
No.
You didn't tell him that? How come you didn't tell him that?
Because I didn't want to, like, tell him because I was scared.
Did you spend that night in bed with your cousin Michael?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do that often? Share a bed with your cousin Michael?
Yes.
Did you tell your cousin Michael about the fact that they were stealing money?
No.
Why not?
Because he was gone.
I'm sorry?
He was gone. We tried to tell a maid or something like that.
Did you tell?
But they were gone. It was night.
Did you see your cousin Michael again after the boys were stealing money?
No. I seen him like once, like a day, because he was gone most of the time.
Now, the story of the missing wine gets a bit more complicated.
Do you remember who it was who delivered the wine? Was it somebody you knew?
It was Angel.
It was Angel who brought it. Angel Vivanco?
Yeah.
Did he bring it with glasses?
Yeah, he brought it with one glass and a bottle.
Just one glass? And when it came in, the wine and the glass, did Angel put it down in the room?
Yeah.
And when he put it down, was Star and Gavin in the room?
Yes.
Did Angel then take the bottle of wine upstairs?
No, he set it downstairs, and then Star and Gavin took it upstairs.
Okay. And was Michael in the bathroom downstairs or the bathroom upstairs?
Downstairs.
He was downstairs in the bathroom. Did you tell Michael when he was in the bathroom that the wine had been delivered?
Yes.
You told him that it had been delivered. Okay. And what did he say?
He said, "Oh, okay, I'll be right there."
Okay. And meanwhile, Gavin and Star were upstairs. Is that right?
Yes, and then they left.
With a bottle of wine?
Yes.
Was the wine open or closed?
It was closed.
Do you remember if it was a bottle of red wine or a bottle of white wine?
White wine?
Do you know if there was a bottle opener with it?
I think so, but I don't know.
You're not certain?
I'm not sure.
But you remember it was definitely closed at the time.
Yes.
So nobody had uncorked the bottle. Is that right?
Right.
Wine delivered to Michael Jackson's room by a witness we heard from previously just a few witnesses ago. The kids apparently, according to this witness, take it.
Wait. Great cross-examination because
He's good.
it puts Michael, the kids, and the wine together, and that is part of the prosecution's presentation and theory.
But does it play right into the defense hand with respect to this bottle is then absconded with by these young kids without Michael Jackson?
It might, but there was one glass brought up there with a closed bottle of wine. One assumes that was just for Michael, not necessarily to be used while the kids were there.
Exactly, and doesn't that play into the defense's case, though, because the defense said, play into the defense's case because the prosecution says he was plying these kids with alcohol, but there's only one glass.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's bizarre, really, that he would be having wine delivered while the kids are. The testimony comes out. It's late at night, very late at night. The kids are around. Wine is delivered. That doesn't look good. And also,
why doesn't that look good?
That doesn't look good. That Michael Jackson. I'm talking about for the defense. It doesn't look good for the defense.
Really?
Sean and I just switched roles. You just missed it.
You got confused.
Stay with us.
I'm trying to.
It's late at night. These kids are in his room, in his bed. He's having wine delivered. That is just not a very positive
I don't know.
image.
Actually, I disagree with you. I have to take the defense side now.
What's going on
your
here?
defense lawyers do that, James.
With you, cookie cutter, you. When we return, did the king of pop pop the cork? The mystery of the missing wine spills on into our next segment. Stay with us.
The reenactments and commentary in this program may contain frank talk of a sexual nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back. Okay, here's the scene. A bottle of wine, two rowdy boys supposedly running wild at Neverland. What was Michael Jackson's reaction? Another question, what was his responsibility, if any? Here's what Jackson's 12-year-old cousin Rijo told the jurors according to the courtroom transcripts.
So Gavin and Star came downstairs.
Yes.
The bottle of wine stayed upstairs, and Gavin and Star then left. Okay. Then Michael Jackson came out of the bathroom.
Yes.
And Gavin and Star were gone?
Yes.
Okay. Did you then go upstairs with your cousin Michael?
Yes.
Did you spend the rest of the night with your cousin Michael?
Yes.
Upstairs? Was the wine still there?
Yes.
Okay. Was it still corked, still closed?
I don't know.
Well, was it already open when you got upstairs?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
So it was already opened. And was it finished?
No.
So was there some missing?
Yes.
So they were the only two who were upstairs. Is that right?
Yes.
So they took the bottle of wine, they opened it, and they had a drink. Is that right?
I'm not sure if they drank it or not.
Well, some was missing, right?
Yes.
So they either drank it or they poured it out. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, did you talk with Michael about that?
No, because I wasn't sure that they drank it or not. Because
You weren't sure that they drank it?
Yes.
Well, was anybody else up there?
No.
Did Michael seem upset that there was some wine missing from the bottle?
No.
Did he ask you about why wine was missing from the bottle?
No.
Did he know that the only other two people who were there were Gavin and Starr?
Yes.
Okay, and did he say something to you about, boy, those rascals, they just get into the wine whenever they can?
No.
Sean Chapman Holly, complicity on the part of Michael Jackson. He doesn't care if these kids are in the wine. He doesn't care if these kids are watching porn.
I agree. It's not good for Michael Jackson. And I also think that the cross-examination is effective because I think it shows that Rio is perhaps not telling the whole truth. I don't understand how a corked bottle of wine can come there, a closed bottle of wine, and these kids are supposed to have opened the bottle of wine themselves. They don't know how to do
mark
that.
this day in history, Ricky Kleeman. A point conceded on the part of Sean Chapman
There you
Holly for the
go.
prosecution.
There you go.
Twice indeed. But the reality is, I think Ron Zonin is a good cross-examiner. He knows where he's going.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he called them young rascals.
Ah.
That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, but doesn't that sort of disarm them in terms of any sinister
too
nature?
benign.
It's too benign.
You know what?
For the,
Yeah.
for
It
the
just
defense.
shows that those little rascals were up in that room with the wine, but it's not a good thing for Michael Jackson, and it's not a good thing for the defense that the wine was brought up by them, with them at the
Really,
same
you think
time.
so?
It doesn't
I
make
do
him
think
a
so.
child
Really?
molester.
No.
I don't see anything
That's
wrong
true.
with him bringing a bottle of wine. It's his room. He wants to have a glass of wine a night, so be it. He's not feeding it to the kids. One
defense
glass.
lawyers are
That's
all
it
like-
for today. I'm a cookie cutter. 7:30 p.m. Michael Jackson trial coverage. See ya.